There we go. 4 out of 5 on the double from Part. 144 and 170 included in that tally.
140.
Banging in the 140s now for fun. Half a dozen, as against 3 from Ronnie Baxter. 2 180s as well, as you say, from John Part. Baxter's turn to put himself on a 3-dart finish with throw, but Part could make him pay again as he punishes the board and puts himself on 78. Baxter, you feel, has got to get this. That's a great start. Treble 18, unlucky.
138.
So this for John Part for 5 consecutive legs. Single 20. Tops then for Part. He hasn't missed much and he hasn't missed again. It's 5 consecutive legs for the Canadian. And John Part now steps up to throw for the match, for a clean sweep, for a whitewash, for 6 consecutive legs, and for a place in the semis against either Taylor or King.
140.
Whichever one of those he plays in the semi-final, it will be one heck of an encounter. But are we writing Ronnie Baxter off too soon? Only time will tell, but how much time will it be? If Part continues in this vein, it won't be long. This could be the last leg of this match. We've just seen Andy Hamilton beat Mark Dudbridge in straight legs. 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. And this looks likely to go precisely the same way.
100.
Only a ton, but all 3 darts right on the wire.
Had a long think about that, did Ronnie. Now for the match, 121. Now Baxter, you feel, needs 139 just to stay in the hunt.
Yes, that's right. He's gone downstairs first. He's hit the 3, in fact, so
99.
whilst he did manage to rectify matters.
76.
99, in fact it wasn't in 3, it was in 19, right on the wire, but just in the 19. However, Part now looking at double 8 for a 3-0 victory, and that's how close he came to finishing this off. Baxter then still hopeful of staying in the US Open. Has to get tops. That's a lovely marker. Got to use this though as a marker, and he does, and he does, and he does. Part 1, Baxter won in the 3rd set. 2 match points to Part. Missed. Remember earlier, Mardle in the last 16 game against Mervyn King had 2 match points at the same stage of the contest and ended up losing.
Absolutely. Mardle had 2 darts to win it, 3-0. Mervyn King won 3-2. The way John Part had been finishing, I was just waiting for the referee, Russ Bray, to say game shot and the match.
140.
Still hitting the big scores. And you do feel, for all that Ronnie Baxter stayed alive, that it is really only delaying the inevitable. That's the reason why. His action is fluent.
81.
His action, it's confident. Whereas with Baxter, when he was at his very best, the same applied. Quick, easy, accurate. Not quite so at the moment.
Well, just coming down to the treble 19. Another brilliant dart. We've seen so many from John Part. And left himself 143 for the match.
84.
Oh, Stuart, that 144, the 170, big finishes in previous matches suggest that this is well within his scope. It won't happen on this occasion, but he can leave it very handy indeed.
65.
Indeed does. 78 left for Part. Baxter's got to save his bacon here. Good start. Needed the treble.
95.
So for a place in the semi-finals of the US Open. Double 12 for John Part. Hit the wire.
54.
Hit the wire again. Now that's 4 darts Part has missed for the match.
And all 4 of them have been right on the wire. So I don't think John Part will be too perturbed. It's not as though he's been a million miles away from his target. This is a big one for Baxter. And it's such a big one for Baxter. He cannot make use of the marker as he did a few minutes ago to stay in the contest. So John Part looks at double 12. Double 6 for a place in the last 4 of the US Open.
Game shot.
And the door opens for Part to go through into the last 4. A comprehensive and convincing 3-0 victory over Ronnie Baxter.
So here is the picture in the US Open. We've seen Barneveld brilliance, 110 average against Sholton. He will play Andy Hamilton in the semi-finals, and John Part, 98 average, 3 brilliant finishes into the semi-finals against either Phil Taylor or Mervyn King.
Well, John Part certainly looked the part there, dispatching Ronnie Baxter in straight sets. We'll be talking to him after the break. And the next game, people, it's Phil Taylor versus Mervyn King. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Good evening. I'm Sarah Kaywood, and this is the PDC US Open live from the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. As you can hear, the crowd are getting fired up now as the greatest darts players in the world face the pressure on the oche. For the break, John Part and Ronnie Baxter played it out for place in the semi-final. And John, you made it look easy.
Well, it didn't feel easy. It was every dart was a needed dart because Ronnie, I know he can do. We played against each other for 17 years, and I got the better of it today, and I kept the momentum.
You absolutely did. It seems that you're in the form that made you a 2-time world champion. Would you agree with that?
Well, yes, I would agree with that, and I'd also say that I was commentating the World Challenge match last night, and I was inspired by the Americans.
Right, John.
Yeah, these two are chums.
In honesty, I've never seen you, since winning the world titles that you won, throw like that. You walked on that stage as though you owned it. And looking at the game, I mean, you hit that 170. Ronnie had 2 darts at double top, feeling confident to go, and it was for a set, and you put that 170. The cheers in here, well, you could hear it on the reservation.
Yeah, raise the roof.
It's weird. It just happens. It's the sort of thing you're in the groove. I know I was always today. I played 2 matches now, and I've been hitting the triple 20 very well. And I felt good that if I got those first 2 and I would get the chance. And it just happened. The bull went in.
Yeah. Plus you brought it from the floor onto the oche.
Well, yeah, and that's where my experience comes in. I've played for years and years against so many of the great players and on the stages. So that factor, I think we're equal anyway, but I think I just had the hot hand.
Well, while you're talking about that, tell us about the time what you did with Phil on the last world title.
It's happened a couple of times, hasn't it?
Well, we've met many times, and Phil has usually had the better of me, but I've come across in 2003 as the world champion, 7-6 in sets. So that was the biggest moment in my dart career. And as well as I played today, it comes nowhere near it.
Well, depending on what happens in this next match, you might be seeing him again. There's only 1 quarterfinal left, and it does feature the power Phil Taylor. It's versus the king, Mervyn King, who will win through and be 1 step further to their crowning glory. Let's rejoin our MC, John McDonald.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the action here on the Mohegan Sun, Connecticut. The PDC US Open and our final quarter.